mature.
Complete protection for top engine performance. Pennzoil Synthetics. Make the switch.
New Stouffer's Fit Kitchen Bowls. Balanced, nutritious, and delicious. With 22 grams of protein, savory vegetables, quinoa and cashews. Together in perfect harmony. New Stouffer's Fit Kitchen Bowls. This is fit.
Every time 4 o'clock is close enough to 5, a Corona gets its lime. Every time vacation mode doesn't need to wait for a vacation day, a Corona gets its lime. Every time the band goes on, and every time you take it all in. Or every time you say, wow, a Corona gets its lime. And every time you take those off, and you decide it's time to turn off, a Corona gets its lime.
Boy, I wish your mom was here. Instead of over there.
Reliving the glory days isn't always rewarding, but Hotels.com is. Instant savings now, free nights later. Hotels.com.
Baa Black Sheep, have you any wool? No, sir, no, sir. Some nincompoop stole all my wool sweaters, smart TV, and gaming system. Luckily, the Geico Insurance Agency recently helped Baa with renter's insurance. Everything stolen was replaced, and the hooligan who lives down the lane was caught selling the stolen goods online. Visit geico.com and see how easy it is to switch and save on renter's insurance.
What can you do with 2 bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches for $5 from Dunkin'? Settle a debt, make a friend, save the day, or keep them both for this handsome devil. With 2 bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches for $5, the future is in your hands. America runs on Dunkin'.
My, what big rims you have. My, what bright eyes you have. Oh.
All the better to tease you with, my dear.
That was good. GD.
Get ready to spin your own tale. Introducing an all-new crossover. Toyota CHR. Toyota, let's go places.
Introducing LifeRoom, where outdoor living meets future technology. LifeRoom's smooth glide screens keep harmful UV rays and bugs out, and its innovative cooling system gives you comfort and tranquility. Enjoy your LifeRoom year-round with a free radiant heater. Call today for your free design consultation and learn more about this patent-pending revolution in outdoor living that costs less than you'd imagine. Act now. Life awaits. LifeRoom. Outdoor living perfected.
Jack Link's Jerky presents Working Out with Sasquatch.
I am the product of hard work, superior genetics, Norse mythology, and protein. Let me drop some wisdom on how muscle making works.
When you work out, muscle fibers are damaged. But when you eat a protein-packed snack like Jack Link's Jerky, it helps repair those fibers so your muscles can get bigger and more stronger.
Hey! Quiet down, muscles!
Quiet. Yeah. Jack Link's Jerky, the protein-packed snack packed with protein.
Tomorrow night on ESPN2, a critical game for the USMNT. As they try to reach next year's World Cup, the U.S. trails Panama by 1 point for the final. You can catch this one on ESPN2 tomorrow night.
Let's do it again tomorrow.
Okay, you going to be there? You feeling okay?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny.
This guy still doesn't get it.
Is he a reputable source for anything? Not in my mind.
Students were taking classes that didn't really exist.
My players, if they took those courses, did the work.
It was just a scam, the whole thing. It was a joke.
The SD Sign Guy started a GoFundMe account to pay for an anti-Spanos, anti-NFL digital billboard.
The NFL, the no freaking loyalty.
What you see may change your perception of any sporting event. Get this, shoot this.
Welcome to Outside the Lines. I'm Bob Lee. Earth to Cam Newton. It is 2017. Are we seriously talking about this still? That's our big story today. The statement by the former NFL Most Valuable Player in response to a woman reporter
asking a valid and informed football question yesterday at the Carolina Panthers press conference. The question posed by Jordan Rodriguez of the Charlotte Observer, who's been on the Panthers beat for the past 12 months.
Yeah, I know you take a lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny.
Newton and Rodriguez, there's silence in the room, by the way, had a later conversation. She said, quote, it got worse. She said Newton did not offer an apology. In fact, he didn't even know her name. The Panthers say Newton, quote, expressed regret. The predictable organizations have said the predictable things. The NFL, the Pro Football Writers of America. We turn to ESPNW's Kavitha Davidson. All right, until about 15 minutes ago, the news was that Dan and Yogurt was not going to use him anymore, Cam Newton, and there was a fight back and forth on the semantics there. Now, Jordan Rodriguez, within the last half hour, has apologized for offensive tweets from 4 or 5 years ago, which invoke the N-word. So this spins into the digital era here of 2017. But back to the original comment, and my first question is still the same question to you. Really? This is what we're dealing with in 2017?
Really, this is what we're still dealing with. And I think every woman in the industry had the same reaction. And it's because this isn't anything new to us. This was disappointing, but not surprising. And the idea that it's still weird to hear a woman talk about sports is something that is still around. Beth Mowins knows this more than anything. I wrote a column a few weeks ago when she became the first woman to call Monday Night Football about how all of these men thought that it was so weird to hear a woman's voice talking about football, not what she was actually saying, but the actual sound of her voice. So.
Yeah, now you've got Cam Newton, former most valuable player. He's played in the Super Bowl. We know the after press conference there, the alleged sulking that went on. But you've got a guy who's had, what, the Dannon contract. He's had deals with Gatorade, Microsoft, Under Armour, Beats headphones. Some of those are still in effect. Maybe they're under review. We don't know. You would think would have a sense, if he was joking yesterday, and I think you might want to give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit about him joshing here. It's a bad joke to make.
It's a pretty bad joke, and that's the thing, is that this mentality is so pervasive that it's something that people think they can joke about, but it's not a joke to those of us who see this as indicative of, you know, a mentality that prevents us from getting into the industry, and then once we're there, prevents us from doing her job. Jordan was doing her job, asking a fairly innocuous question in the middle of a press conference, and he felt the need to turn it into a joke.
How pervasive do you think, in your experience, real thinking along those lines might be?
I mean, I can tell you from both personal and professional experience. Professionally, from being the only woman in a press conference or a press booth, to personally having somebody actually ask me, oh, you're a woman who works in sports, do you know what a third and 10 is? And, you know, that kind of thing that, you know, we're constantly asked to defend our sports knowledge, and we're tested on it. And then when we say something even remotely intelligent about sports, then it's somehow funny and a joke. So
you say it quite often with us, very intelligent things, and we appreciate you. You came in on the red eye for our big conference out west. We appreciate it. Thanks so much, Kavitha Davidson, ESPNW. And now, a voice and a view, and the man behind them.
And I'm real tired of hearing from people who say it can't be true because the women would have reported it years ago if it was. No, they wouldn't. No, they don't. And unfortunately, I know they don't. My daughter was raped when she was a student at North Texas. I'm not always comfortable when a man tells me he's gay. I don't understand his world, but I do understand that he's part of mine. Civil rights activist Audre Lorde said, "It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. We've always been able to recognize them. Some of us accept them. And I want to believe that there will be a day when we do celebrate them." My best friend in high school was killed in Vietnam, and Carol Meyer will be 18 years old forever, and he did not die so that you could decide who is a patriot and who loves America more. The young black athletes are not disrespecting America or the military by taking a knee during the anthem. They are respecting the best thing about America. It's a dog whistle to the racist among us to say otherwise.
You've doubtless seen those thoughts and heard the voice of a man who's turned the latest chapter of his distinguished broadcasting career into a platform that reaches around the world. Dale Hansen has owned the Dallas market as a sportscaster since the early 1980s. He has won a Peabody and a DuPont. That's a big deal for his landmark work exposing the SMU football scandal that led to the death penalty. But his commentaries on WFAA television have become part of the national conversation. Speaking of conversations, let's have one. Why have you touched such a nerve in this country, and a positive one, it seems, Dale?
Well, I do think in part because of who I am, a 69-year-old fat white guy in Texas, and I think that has resonated quite a bit around America. I know when I wrote the Michael Sam commentary, I had so many people, Bob, telling me they were ready to smash in their computer screen, but when they saw who was delivering that message about gay rights in America, they were surprised, and then they took the time to listen. As I tell everybody, Bob, we're not all crazy in Texas. We just elect them to public office.
Something that Kinky Friedman might say. Down in Waxahachie, when you take a break from your card games and the guys climb back into their pickup trucks and they've shared your thoughts down there. Speaking of preconceptions, and I don't want to preconceive who the guys in Waxahachie are about, what do they say to their friend across the table?
Well, it's been a little bit difficult, especially after this last commentary. The other commentary is somewhat surprising. Didn't get much of a negative reaction one way or the other. This latest one about protesting the national anthem has actually cost me friends. I was actually at a card game last night, because I tend to do that quite a bit. And a guy that I've played cards with for years didn't say a word for about 90 minutes. Never said a word. And then got up and left the game. And I've had another friend who basically has sent the message through another friend that I'm no longer welcome at their particular game. And as the lovely Mrs. Hansen said to me, if those are the kind of friends you have, they aren't friends worth having. And I think she's absolutely right about that. But the reaction in downtown Waxahachie, I think they're somewhat happy that our favorite little piece of the world is getting some national attention now.
What was the inflection point that really threw you into the international maelstrom of opinion and made you a viral success? Was it the Michael Sam commentary?
Well, the Michael Sam commentary was the first one that, as far as I know, went viral. I swear to you, this is a true story. When I wrote the Michael Sam commentary, the next day I started getting emails from California and Colorado and New York and Boston, and I actually didn't understand just how big of an antenna those people must have to pick up a Channel 8 signal out of Dallas. I didn't know what viral meant. And one of our anchors, Shelley Slater, actually said to me, and again, this is true, she goes, "You don't understand what's happened. You've gone viral." And I said, well, I feel okay. Only to find out that this whole social media concept has taken my words and the words of others to a much higher level. I think I've written some stuff earlier. I probably started writing commentaries and social commentaries in particular in the mid-'80s around that SMU investigation, but not very many people noticed. Now with the internet and the social media system that we have, it's spreading the world, and I'm incredibly impressed and flattered by it.
We got about 30 seconds. Aside from what you've learned about the internet and social media, what have you learned about yourself or the world from this experience?
Well, actually, I don't think I've learned a great deal more than what I've known for a long time. We live in a very difficult world right now. I think it's in a much worse place than it used to be. As I've told some of my friends who did disagree with me and seriously disagreed with me about the anthem protest, at least you and I have the ability to agree to disagree. The one thing that I think I've learned, and it really does break my heart, is that I think we have evolved into a world where we no longer agree to disagree, and we need to get that day back.
And we need civility, we need to listen, and we need to maybe learn from each other. You're an institution, Dale. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
You're very kind, Bob. Thank you very much.
All right, next up. In the air, it's a bird, it's a plane. It's no love lost for a National Football League owner.
At the Home Depot, we're pouring more into paint, so you get more stain-blocking power, better scrubbability, even a one-coat coverage guarantee. Unbelievable quality, unbeatable prices. Now get Behr Premium Plus starting at $23.97 at the Home Depot.
Kevin's not-so-wonderful life is about to take a turn.
You've been chosen to save the world. I'm here to guide and protect you.
Oh. Kevin probably saves the world. All new on ABC.
Let's get the new Red Robin Taco Tavern Double with guacamole, tortilla strips, and zesty salsa. One of 3 burgers, only $6.99 each. Anytime, with bottomless steak fries, of course. Let's burger.
Red Robin. Yum.
For millions of baby boomers, there's a serious virus out there that's been almost forgotten. It's hepatitis C. 1 in 30 boomers has Hep C, yet most don't even know it, because it can hide in your body for years without symptoms, and it's not tested for in routine blood work. The CDC recommends all baby boomers get tested. If you have Hep C, it can be cured. For us, it's time to get tested. Ask your healthcare provider for the simple blood test. It's the only way to know for sure.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain or knee pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace or knee brace covered by Medicare at little to absolutely no cost to you. 800-871-9774. Right now to see if you qualify. These professional-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, rheumatoid and osteoarthritis, spinal disorders, stenosis, and other painful back problems. Our medical-grade durable knee braces are designed for those with osteoarthritis and general knee pain and weakness. Our accredited staff will handle all of the Medicare paperwork. And best of all, your brace is shipped directly to your home for free. Will you qualify for a Medicare-covered back brace or knee brace? There's only one way to find out. Call the Back and Knee Brace Center at 800-871-9774. That's 800-871-9774.
Introducing
the never-before-seen
next level of innovation. Redesigned,
reimagined,
reborn, new,
used, certified pre-owned.
Ford, Toyota, Subaru,
Volkswagen,
Honda, GMC, featuring
backup camera,
EcoBoost, all-wheel drive, low miles, park assist, sport mode,
for wherever you
dream of going.
For drivers
Everywhere, for the ride of your life, for the driven.
Shop all the cars all in one place. Auto Trader. If you can't find your next car here, you won't find it anywhere.
At the Home Depot, your color match is spot on. Whether you want to match this, or even this, we'll match it. Let's see if anybody can match that. Get the best paint for any budget, starting at $17.97 at the Home Depot.
Welcome to Between Two Rexes. Let's just say they were going to do a low budget, clearly, life story of Matt Houseback, because I'm sure that movie's coming out anytime soon. Who would be the actor?
Yeah, it's a good question, Rex.
Thank you. Vin Diesel,
maybe,
any other bald guy
like
you can
Woody
think
Harrelson,
of?
maybe?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good one.
Who would play you?
It's not about me here,
Okay,
Tim.
sorry.
Matt, one of you Hasselbacks. What's the difference?
FIFA World Cup qualifying, USA Panama, tomorrow at 7 on ESPN2.
Now the approaching Judgment Day for the North Carolina Tar Heels. A lot on the line. It's apparent that the NCAA regulations and the Committee on Infractions bringing the hammer down very shortly in the next several days, perhaps, announcing penalties in the academic scandal involving so-called paper classes, a scheme that persisted for more than 20 years in Chapel Hill and involved hundreds of athletes. The university has fought this vigorously. There are 5 major NCAA charges against the school, and at stake are possible vacated victories, maybe even the 2005 NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Dan Kane of the News and Observer has for several years led the journalism that initially reported and further explained the dimensions of the academic shell game, and you can visit their website. They have a compendium of their award-winning reporting. Dan, it's always good to speak with you. The university made a strategic decision here to fight, and they've had 3 different notices, almost unprecedented. They're all in on this, are they not?
Yes, they are. They have put forward a lot of technical arguments that the NCAA had their chance to pursue this, 6 years ago and did not. Just went forward with some violations regarding the football team and agents who were giving things to players, and there was a little academic fraud component with that as well. And the NCAA did not pick it up then. It took a lot of really digging to get at what this was really about, which eventually led to the Weinstein report in 2014, which made a very strong connection between these classes and the academic support program for student athletes. And the NCAA had started investigating very shortly after the Weinstein investigation started, and that led to a notice of allegations, which then led to an amended notice of allegations, which led to a third notice of allegations. And what's significant about that? Well, basketball was initially in, and then it was out, and then it was back in again. So, there are some pretty major stakes here, for the university, particularly for its basketball program, its much heralded basketball program. There's one championship that has really drawn a lot of attention because the records show that, the basketball players took a lot of these classes, particularly during the season in which they won the tournament.
And then 6 weeks ago, when the university had their hearing in front of the Committee on Infraction, there was Roy Williams, there was the head football coach, there was the head women's basketball coach. By appearances alone, this is like going into the federal court. Usually the NCAA wins here.
Yeah, a lot of times, the NCAA, their judge, jury, obviously put out the punishment. We'll see whether this case is different, whether the University of North Carolina has put together enough, arguments regarding, whether or not, this is like double jeopardy, coming back after the initial report, whether there's an issue about, sort of the borders here, where does the NCAA get to cross over and deal with academic matters at a university? That's another big argument here.
All of that to be determined, and it's approaching days away. Dan Kane, News and Observer, his reporting has set the course on this. Thank you for taking time with us today. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Bob.
Today in the B Block, signs everywhere. There's signs that the Los Angeles Chargers have shallow, if any, roots in L.A. Remember the last play of their home loss to the Dolphins? Those are Dolphins fans cheering, many of them 2,700 miles from home. And then this past Sunday? Yes, Sunday, the Chargers' perfection was further honed to 0-4 in front of Eagles fans in Carson, California. And once again, premium seats down low, a number of them empty, in a soccer park, the smallest venue in the National Football League, which the Chargers have further downsized, allowing them to announce sellouts. To the south, where bitterness is rampant over the Chargers' departure, a local entrepreneur offers a free taco after each Charger defeat, but only if you say the secret password, Spanos Tacos. The man's business is up 30 to 40%. Is this a great country or what? And in the battle of the TV ratings, color the Chargers' big losers. The Fox telecast of the Chargers lost to the Eagles on Sunday. Fifth ranked NFL game on that huge LA market this week, number 5 out of 6, and it was watched by 1/3 the audience of its direct competition, the Raiders and the Broncos. And this week, the Chargers are bounced off the regular CBS affiliate to its secondary station to avoid a conflict with the Rams telecast. And the Chargers' opponent this week, none other than the 0-4 Giants. At 10 a.m. LA kickoff in New Jersey, a meeting to scar the San Diego soul even deeper, recalling the 0-4 draft, that hostage photo of Eli Manning with a Chargers jersey, despite his expressed desire not to play in San Diego. The Giants, well, that franchise knows fan rebellion. Back in the 70s, in the wake of one of the most infamous plays in NFL history. Oh, here we go, the miracle of the Meadowlands. Pisarcik doesn't take a knee, the handoff, the fumble. There's Herm Edwards. There's the miracle return. It was a low point for this franchise, which led to fans burning their tickets and chipping in to hire a plane to overfly Giant Stadium with the banner saying, 15 years of lousy football, we've had enough. And signs and overflights have been part of the San Diego resistance of 2017. The man responsible for tangibly articulating the anger of Charger Nation is Joseph McCray, who joins me. He is the SD Sign Guy on Twitter. He is the voice of the oppressed. What have you done here?
Well, Bob, thanks for having me on, first of all. I basically started a GoFundMe page that was going to put up billboards in Los Angeles that are anti-NFL and anti-Dean Spanos. So this GoFundMe page has been really popular, and it's been working. And we have the billboards up right now on the 405 freeway. If you exit Main Street, the billboard's right there. And then we've had enough money to have flyovers every home game this season. The Dolphins game, the Chiefs game, the Eagles game, we've had flyovers before, and we'll continue to do it all season long.
How much money have you raised via, and we've got the infamous commissioner and Nose, and no favorite I know on Park Avenue, that picture up, just so you know what we're showing. How much money have you raised through this season?
Well, we're at $17,000, and that's covered the billboard, that's covered the flyovers, that's covering future flyovers that we have. So, I mean, a lot of the fans, I mean, I made a note that this isn't just for San Diego fans. These are for fans for St. Louis who lost the Rams. These are for fans in Oakland who is eventually going to lose their team too. So these billboards mean a lot to not just folks in San Diego, but you know, team or cities that have lost their teams in the past. So
I mentioned the Giants back in '78. They may have been the first NFL overflight on ticked off fans, and we had a lot to be ticked off back in Jersey back then. I will tell you. So what have you planned for the meeting in New Jersey of 2 0-4 teams? And I know you got Teterboro Airport right across Newark, about 10 miles down, so you got tough airspace here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we all look back at that 2004 draft. A lot of San Diegans, we were pretty upset at Eli for saying, no, he doesn't want to come to San Diego, and no, he doesn't want to play for the Chargers. So it's just funny how things work out, because now looking back at it, Eli was right. Archie Manning, he was right. They didn't want to play for the Spanos family because they knew the type of the ownership they are. I mean, they're not a very good NFL ownership. I mean, I think it's pretty clear with the move to Los Angeles, losing product on the field. But we have a special plane flying over this Sunday that's going to have a little message to Dean about basically saying Eli was right, Dean.
Getting a little tight on time. Can you share it, or is it going to be a surprise?
It's going to be a surprise. You just have to just tune in on Sunday.
In fact, folks have been voting, have they not, on these messages all the way through?
Yeah, we have a local radio station right here in San Diego called the Mighty 1090. We have a show with former Charter players, Scott Kaplan and Billy Ray Smith, and they've been great supporters to push this cause. So a lot of props to them, and they've helped. I mean, we're the voice of San Diego. You know, we're out there when we're flying the planes, you know, over the stuff.
Look to the heavens. Look to the heavens.
Exactly.
10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. In New Jersey. 2 0-4 teams. We'll see what the secret message is. Just like the password for the tacos. Joseph McRae, thanks. Good luck. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.
Now, some stuff that matters. World Cup playoff. Syria with the opportunity out of nowhere to possibly qualify for a World Cup berth in a playoff against Australia. This is in Malaysia. The 40th minute, Australia's Matthew Leckie cuts in and fires a shot. Robbie Cruz is there to put it home, and the Australians, in a road match for them, have an important road goal. 83rd minute, desperation here for Syria as it comes in. Leckie is called for a very questionable foul at the 6-yard box. Omar Al-Soma steps up for the penalty kick, puts it high, but it finds netting. And the match is tied at 1-1. This is Syria's home match played in Malaysia. Last chance for the Kangaroos. A powerful header in front. Watch Alma, the keeper, with his right hand for Syria, preserving an emotional and important 1-1 draw. Next up, which you don't know about the player who scored the tying match, tying goal in that match.
I gotta get my daughter out of bed.
Looking for the perfect match? Get what you want and we'll match your payment during Rena Center's Free for Fall. Just pay a week and we'll match your next payment up to 4 weeks. Only at Rena Center.
I can run the case if I have to.
You know Progressive is America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Yeah, she does, Pearl. Just like down the road. No, you're not wrong. Because our plans are available 24/7. Even covers groceries. Wait, come up 6 o'clock and walk out the door. Just to get to soccer practice. You want me to jump that practice? All right. That lady's awesome. I don't see a possum.
In preparation for man's journey to Mars, NASA requested applications for space travel candidates. It takes ambition, a can-do attitude, and a lot of moxie to be chosen for one of the most coveted positions in the universe. Runners-up, we invite you to apply to our management trainee program at 84 Lumber.
Montel here. You know, life comes